spring, summer, fall, winter, and spring. It is a Korean film that's directed by Kim Kim. Kim Kim is a famous Korean director that is usually focused on themes of violence, sex, and death. He is very good at using symbolic movie image and very sharp contrast in his films. I will introduce the symbolism in this particular film. This film is divided into 5 parts by season: spring, summer, fall, winter, and another spring. The film starts with a well-designed wide shot and a series of shots that shows the whole picture to the audience. Spring. Old monk and boy monk live in an isolated temple that's surrounded by a lake and mountains. One day, the boy monk tied stones to fish, frog, and snake. The old monk discovered and said nothing. At night, the old monk tied a stone on the boy monk's back after he is asleep. The next day, the boy monk asked his master to untie him. The old monk told him, "You can't endure, but why you put these pins on others?" The boy monk went back to the river and tried to untie those animals. However, they are already dead. This spring part is defined as the childhood stage, which is also symbolic of beginning and original sin of people. Summer. The boy monk becomes young adult monk. He saw 2 snakes tasted at the beginning of this part, which implies his desire for love and sex fantasy. Young girl and her mother came to the temple for curing her psychological problem. The young monk can't control himself. He teased the girl and finally had sex with her. After that, the girl left the temple and the young monk no longer got relief in Buddhism and left the temple as well. In this part, snakes and water are 2 symbolisms. Snakes implies sex, water implies suffering. This symbolism combines both philosophy of Christianism and Buddhism. It argues the relationship and contradictions between human nature and religious belief. 4. After the young monk resumed secular life, the girl betrayed him. This makes the young monk feel abandoned by the world. He killed the girl and went back to the temple for redemption. He said, "Love is the only thing I got." But the old monk said, "Sometimes we should give up something we like, something also others like." He went back to the river that he used to play and have sex with the girl. He jumped into the water and feels depressed and painful. Then he tried to commit a suicide. Old monk stopped him and told him to lettering heart suture on the floor to reduce his pain. After that, 2 policemen found the young monk and took him away. The old monk passed into the parinirvana by self-burning on the boat. The snake appeared again. One moved away from the boat, the other one moved away from the floor. This symbolism implies the getting rid of sins and suffering. Winter. The young adult monk went back to the temple and carried on his master's last wish. One day, a young woman came with a baby holding on her arms. She left the baby in the temple and dropped into the lake when she is leaving. Next day, he found the dead woman. Once he lifted the veil on her face, he was shocked. He did ascetic practice on mountains. Another spring. The baby becomes another boy monk. He played with animals as the previous boy monk. Fish, frog, snake appeared again in the last part. which implies the reincarnation of life and the endless sins and evils in nature. From each part of the film, we can also see the doors are like empty shells. It is also a symbolism that indicates that the border line between reality and relief. Once you open the door and go in, it's a normal process of being involved. On the contrary, if someone crosses the line without knocking the door, it's a type of falling into the misery.